Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. People, we are talking about choosing willingness, to be willing to whatever, to get well, to change your life, to participate in something, to avoid or abstain from nightmares. Whatever that is for you. For me, it is always eating. It is eating food that doesn't serve me. It's compulsively eating food that doesn't serve me. It's wasting money on food that doesn't serve me. It's throwing away food that doesn't serve me when I'm at the point of ready to burst, right? So praise God, one day at a time. I am clean on my program. I'm a 12-stepper. You know, my foundation is 12 steps. And I am sharing willingness for today, which is an Overeaters Anonymous, just daily thought book. And this is day 4. And this is actually from February 2nd. And let's get into it, because I just think it's a worthwhile study, if you will, on 13 days towards willingness. So it says February 2nd, most folks are as happy as they make their minds up to be. Like, that's just straight up from Abraham Lincoln. I've heard that so many times. You're as happy as you're going to decide that you're going to be. Mindset is everything. So it says, what a novel idea. Did Honest Abe really mean to say I can will myself to be happy? I've heard that so many times, where it's just a choice. You know, like nothing else changes. All the difficulties remain, all the blessings remain. But the mental choice to be happy makes the difference. So it says, yes, exactly. I never tried it, so how can I know? I spent much of my life believing that my happiness depended on other people and what they did or did not do. Oh my gosh, right? More so than ever. It's so sad with social media and likes and unlikes and clicks and all those things. I was watching, and I think I did a video on it a couple of years ago when it first came out, but it was called, don't tell me, The Social Dilemma. Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen it. One of the most brilliant Netflix documentaries, tragically brilliant Netflix documentaries ever made, because it's absolutely explaining why we're in such a terrible situation in our country, around the entire world, let's be fair, where people are like turning on each other, not trusting anything. They don't trust anything. They don't know what's real, what's not real. They don't trust democracy. It's such a terrible thing. And a lot of it is just all about social media. And so the tragic statistic of it, though, was regarding girls, preteen, so like 10 to 14, to post, which was like 15 to 19, and how they're being affected from everything from suicide to cutting. And a ton of it just had to do with likes and dislikes on social media, real or imagined. And it's gone up, like in the preteens, like 125% since 2010. And that's kind of when social media really became available to everybody. And in the 15 to 19-year-olds, it's gone up like 72%. So terrible. So yeah, I spent much of my life believing that my happiness depended on other people and what they did or did not do. Ah, so true and so tragic. The fact that I'm sometimes unhappy today only shows that I am consciously or unconsciously clinging to old habits. That is, I'm not willing to be happy. Like everything else that's good in my life, willingness is the key to happiness. For today, I choose to be happy, and I allow myself to be happy. That's a big one for me, allowing myself to be happy. It's so crazy. I always felt guilty about being happy. I tend to be one of those people who is just hyper intuitive, and I'm very connected to the people around me, anyone, in any setting. Like, I remember I'd be at parties and people would think I was drunk. I hadn't had a sip, but I was so caught up in the energy of everything going on in the party that I acted drunk. I mean, there's no doubt, I in places where everything is somber and sorrowful, and I'm as dark and depressed as everything in the room. Like I'm hyper affected, and I have to watch that. But I get it that sometimes when everyone's bummed out and I just want to be happy, I don't know if I have permission to be happy because it might offend someone. I've gotten so much better at it as I've gotten older, but I've shared that funny story before. When I was a little kid, I'd be in a fight with a friend, but I forgot that we were in a fight because I just don't see life that way. And I'd show up the very next day to play, and they'd be like, "We're in a fight, remember?" And I'd be like, "Oh, yeah. How much more time are we going to be in a fight? Because I want to play." So clueless. But also, people can shut you down sometimes, right? If you're happy. And I remember I had a girlfriend, she'd broken up in a relationship, but I was very much married and very much in love with my husband. And it just angered her. And she would just be like, "Don't talk to me about your happiness. Don't talk to me about what you're doing with your husband. I'm hurting. Don't you get that?" And I was like, "Hooey whatty?" Seriously. So it's tricky, but I absolutely know that we can choose to be happy. And one of the ways, besides shutting off all the noise, is to pick just one thing that's going right in any given moment. Just one thing that's going right, and to focus on that one thing. It is absolutely the beginning of opening that door, and to know that you have a right to be happy, even if it offends other people. And by you, I mean me. It's always a message to self. So yeah, let's get a clean copy. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. Abraham Lincoln. What a novel idea. Did Honest Abe really mean to say I can will myself to happy? Yes, exactly. I never tried it, so how can I know? I spent much of my life believing that my happiness depended on other people and what they did or did not do. The fact that I am sometimes unhappy today only shows that I am consciously or unconsciously clinging to old habits. That is, I'm not willing to be happy. Like everything else that's good in my life, willingness is the key to happiness. For today, I choose to be happy. And I allow myself to be happy. It's my favorite part of it. All right, my friends, I am drowning right now, but I don't have anything. I did two things wrong. I took care of the horses and I didn't change my shirt. And I was petting my dog and touched my eye. I'm allergic to dogs, though I've always had them and loved them. It's their dander. I'm allergic to hay, though I love horses and I will risk it all day long. So that's the story here, but otherwise I'm well and happy and rejoicing in the love of my Jules Blessed Vegan community. So like if you like, join us if you haven't subscribed. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, keep focusing on that willingness. It's ours for the taking, and therefore we're blessed.